Yes, welcome to No Ideas Original featuring Shannon, Mr. Rob, and Zane. Yo, every time I hear that song now, I think about Cuban last week singing the opening
No
of the
doubt.
song. Corey, I see you backstage. We're gonna bring you on in a second, brother. So, how y'all doing? What's
We
good? How
good.
you been?
I'm good, brother. Things have been well. Just as some good news to throw out there. Um, I got some information from my surgeon. I don't know if in February, I had that surgery to remove my old kidneys.
Mm-hmm.
They had cysts on them, and one of those cysts were cancerous, 100% cancerous.
Mm.
So I had an evaluation, an MRI, to see if anything came back, anything developed. I am 100% cancer free, my brother.
Yo, that's wonderful news,
Praise
man.
God, man.
God, yeah.
God's good, bro.
Share that with y'all, man. That lit me up. I was like, oh, I got another leash on life. Now all I need is a kid.
That's coming soon too.
You
I
get it.
know. And that
You'll
show
get
I
it.
had with Kidney Warriors, those two gentlemen that brought me on the show were they were some great guys, man. And the older gentleman, he's been calling me every day, all day since then. Like, yo, Rob, we gonna get you a kidney. We gonna keep your prayers up. We gonna make sure you back on track, man. I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, man. I had an opportunity to tune in. I thought it was a great show. Your contribution was on point. The other dude, I figured it's Kent that was on with you also. Very knowledgeable. Very knowledgeable.
I didn't even know there's a law right now on the floor, Congress or House,
Mhm.
whatever it is, the laws are passed for people with pre-existing conditions, man. Because there's so many laws that go against us. You know what I mean? Nobody wants to insure anybody who had pre-existing condition, but now they're putting the law on the floor, which pretty much keeps people that those who can't afford medication, those who can't afford certain bills and payments, because shit is expensive, man. And I
Yeah.
know one of my drugs is called Prograf. If I don't have benefits, my out-of-pocket cost for a 60-day supply is $2,000.
Yeah.
What? Who does that? So, you know what I mean? It was
Yeah,
good
it's crazy.
talking to them guys. Them guys had a great wealth of knowledge. I didn't know about the law. These guys have been talking to people all across the nation. I think Kent was in Texas.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know where Jared was, but his brother that introduced me to the show, he's in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What's up with you, Zane? How you been?
Man, I got bit by a damn spider, man.
Oh, Jesus. You
So
Spider Man?
I had to get that taken care of.
Can I call you Peter Parker?
Yeah, you might as well.
Oh man, yo. So here we're
Yeah.
here tonight to have a very real conversation. This week the indictment or the lack thereof an indictment came down in the Breonna Taylor case. For those that don't know, Breonna Taylor was the 26-year-old young EMT worker that her home was raided by the police on March 13th, and she was tragically gunned down by the police. The news came out. Attorney General Daniel Cameron, he made his formal announcement.
Cool.
And his formal announcement was that they were charging one officer, but it was unrelated to actually the killing of Breonna Taylor. What it was related to was him, I guess, firing recklessly into another apartment. So I feel like we've been down this road before, and it was eerie to me, like, you know, driving home when the news was announced. I was
Mm-hmm.
with I was with my son, and I thought about it afterwards. I came home, I talked to my wife, and I was like, damn, I remember when I heard the George Zimmerman verdict.
Right.
I actually, with my children, we watched it together, and disappointment just came over us. And then sitting with my son here and now, I'm like, damn, like, yo, it's just so hopeless where it feels like we never get a bone thrown our way. You
Yo,
know?
I said, yo, nothing's changed. Just another sequel. The devil still causing trouble amongst the righteous people. And unfortunately, this is our history, the disappointment. And that
Hmm.
disappointment turns to PTSD, it turns into worry, it turns into depression. Yo, it counteracts so many things that we want to do, and it puts us two steps back. And we have to find a way to eliminate all this depression and all these wrongdoings against us, man. We gotta fight. We can. I know we can find a way. I know for a fact.
Yeah. So let me give a quick rundown of some developments, and then I'm going to start bringing people on the platform because I want other people to have the ability to actually talk about, their response to these events. So first thing, the grand jury did not announce indictments against the other officers. Brett Hankinson, as I said earlier, he was indicted for wanton endangerment, which is a Class D felony that carries a minimum of 1 year and a maximum of 5 years.
And they fired his ass.
Yeah, Attorney Benjamin Crump. Of course, he's the attorney for the family. He believes that it's outrageous. The grand jury lack of indictment was outrageous and offensive. Daniel Cameron, the state's investigation, said that the state's investigation determined the officers who shot Taylor were justified because they had been fired upon first by Kenneth Walker, Taylor's boyfriend. Walker has sued Louisville police and disputed their version of the events. Cameron said the investigation uncovered one witness who heard the detectives identify themselves, disputing early reports that a no-knock warrant was being served. However, Taylor's family and the attorneys dispute that the police actually knocked on the door and the police weren't wearing body cameras. So
crazy though, there were more warrants in that same area during that day, and in fact, they had a warrant for the guy that they was actually looking for, which was her ex-boyfriend. They had arrested him already while they was executing this warrant on what's up, Zakai? I see Zakai that entered the building. They already executed a warrant on her boyfriend, who she was kind of tied to, and I had him already arrested. He found out that homegirl died in handcuffs in the squad car. So the thing is, if you already had an idea who you're looking for, you got him. Executing that invasion that they did was a soft invasion. I said it wasn't really necessary for them to jump in and do that. You know what I mean? And then homeboy, the boyfriend that she was with, Kentucky's an open carry. He was a licensed pistol holder. Come in my crib, I'm shooting too. The fuck? Yeah. I don't think nobody coming in there. You kidding me? I'm shooting. You know what I'm saying? But these guys they opened up on her. And here she's not even here. But let me just share something with you real quick, man. According to the Fourth Amendment, Fourth Amendment protects people from unreasonable search and seizure by the government. You know what I mean? So, but if they have reasonable doubt, they can convince any judge, well, I think there's something in there. And they can go in there and do that.
Yeah.
It's too much shit. Anytime the cops is involved, keeping it real, it's always some fishy shit. So
same way the grand jury could have easily indicted the other police officers also. Let's open up the platform, Noah. Let's hear from some of the folks that are joining us. Zakiya, we'll start with you. You want to weigh in and give your take on these events?
So yes, hi. The information that was received on Wednesday was very heartbreaking as a Black woman. You hear that you're allowed in certain states to have a firearm in your home. And the question that I pose now is, if someone is breaking in, do I have to be like, hey, who are you first? Are you police? Are you executing a warrant? Like, I don't understand the mindset now that they have put out there that if someone breaks in, if they're police, it's okay. But how do you know? You're half asleep, you hear banging, and you are supposed to be able to protect your home.
That's right.
So that's just crazy to me. And I feel like we're living in the world where it's kind of like slavery 2.0. The only thing they're not asking for right now is your free papers or your freedom papers, because I'm like, oh, why didn't you answer the police? Why didn't you answer the guys that killed Ahmaud Arbery? Why do I have to answer you? Like, why do I need to talk to you?
That's right.
So this whole thing is just mind-boggling. I just sit here and it's heartbreaking because I am Black. I am a woman. You know what I mean? And I am raising 2 boys. So it's very I'm very disgusted. It's like I don't even know what to do. Yeah, what to do. What's the plan from here on out? What do I do if somebody tries to break in my home? How do I protect myself if I'm asked a question in the street and people want to stop me if I'm jogging? All these things you have to think about when you go outside just to live a regular life, being Black.
Yeah. The sad thing about it is that we've been down this road so many times, we're becoming desensitized to it that, we still haven't gotten justice for Trayvon Martin. And then, you get Floyd, you get Ahmaud Arbery. And it's just, one person after the other, and then you know what? 2 weeks, sadly, 2 weeks from now, there'll probably be another hashtag. Go ahead, Corey.
What can y'all guys hear me?
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
What's going on, gentlemen and young lady? I understand the politics. I understand the charge of it. Unfortunately, I think it's politics. The politics is tainted. The politics is not on our side.
Absolutely.
In regard to the young man having a gun, I think across the board you still got to protect your house.
That's right.
I believe as us blacks, we owe ourselves a responsibility to save our money all the way to the T, so we could afford lawyers to beat these cases. There are charges, there are convictions already there that lawyers could reference, so we can fight. I just think we're not prepared for the fight, and I think this is where it's killing us at.
And and to your point, you're absolutely right, man. Being prepared is having knowledge of how the system has always been working. Like I explained about the Fourth Amendment law. How many people know that about search and seizure? But more importantly, these laws and these constitutions was written when they didn't even have electricity.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They was writing these laws under candlelight.
Right.
There wasn't even no police governing the people under these same exact laws. And here it is, 200 years later, 300 years later, they're still holding this to the letter.
And these laws weren't authored for us either. We got to make sure we highlight that.
I think the brother Ernie on NBA, because I watched the game. My Celtics is a piece of shit, but that's all right. He was saying that he made a great point, man. He made a great point. But go ahead, my bad. Yo, Big T, what's up, Big T?
Yeah, Big T.
What's going on, Master?
What's going on, Big T?
Weigh in, T. What you got? How you feel, Big T? Weigh in, brother.
Yo, man. Unfortunately, man, it's not gonna change, bro, for a while, man. We got to get out there and vote and get the right legislation in there, and then things will, they're gonna stick up for these cops, man. I mean, it's like long as Trump is in there, Donald Dump is in there, man. It's gonna be that way, man. These cops could do no wrong. He's amping them up to be that way. He likes the confrontation, amongst our community. He likes to see that, man. So unfortunately, it's going to be that way, man. But like you said, we just got to get out there and vote. A lot of people are talking, but we'll see when it comes time to get to them polls, man. All the young brothers, we got to get them to the polls, man. And get the guy out of it, man. You know what I'm saying?
What's your thoughts on? There's a lot of people who don't believe that politics is our way out of these circumstances. What's your thoughts around that, Big T?
Well, I'm not gonna say they're I'm not gonna say they're blind to what's going down. I'm just gonna say that, you see, that's the problem with us, man, in our community, man. We not educating our youth, man. I'm a youth worker, man. I work with kids all my life. And Rob will
I'm one of them. I'm one of them, son.
Yes, he's one of my kids I work with. I'm a youth counselor. I work with kids, and I bought them. I bought them the registered vote. I schooled them on everything. I teach them how to act around when cops approach them. Not to run. The first thing they said they would do is run. I try to tell them, no, that's the wrong move. But getting back to your point, brother, I don't know, man. I don't know, man.
Here's my theory, Big T, because we'll be like a hamster on the wheel trying to figure out a way. Now I'll revert back. I think Zane and Shannon may know what I'm talking about that conversation the OG had with Lord Jamal. Yo, civil rights. Yo, people who aren't civil can't give you civil rights. The fuck? These niggas, they never been civil. So how they gonna give you civil rights, man?
It's hard to uncivilize uncivilized. It's hard to civil an uncivilized person.
Civilized person, they don't want civil. Now, his point, the OG's point was to Lord Jamal, yo, pretty much mind your business. We forced these people. We've actually forced Caucasians, white people to like us. They don't have to like us. No one has to like us. We need to love and like ourselves. And that's the part that we need to get back to, just like how we have in here, have an honest dialogue, talking with one another, share ideas, share knowledge, share what you know that you've seen has helped and helped other people, and we start to move in that light. If not, and we worry about getting justice for the people, we never got justice. We talking about days of Medgar Evers. Anybody get locked up for that? Anybody get locked up for Emmett Till? They probably got locked up now after 60 years. But we're still going through the same thing. Go ahead, Cole.
Let me just add to your component of what you're saying, right? I feel like there's two problems within our community. The households are broken. That's number one. The leadership starts in the household.
Absolutely.
Number two is we're not sacrificing. Like, there's no death in our community for fighting for something. There's not enough bodies laying around for fighting for a cause.
That's right.
So you see what I'm saying? So everybody, the talk is good.
Right. No action.
There's no action, right? The protesting is good, but are you protesting in the right area? Why not protest in front of the senator's house? You see what I'm saying? Like, where are you applying the pressure? I just think the foundation is so broken that we just gonna keep having back and forth dialogues amongst ourselves with no solution.
I'll do you one better than that, Corey. There are people that's protesting that they don't even know what they're protesting for.
100%.
And I say it on this platform all the time, and people look at me sometimes like, yo, you bugging or whatever. I'm like, what is that? What actionable steps are we looking to take? What are we looking to get out of protesting? You know, there are some people that they're just down with the fight and they're down with the cause because on social media it says, you know what, we're protesting. If you were to start pulling people out of the protest and be like, what are we protesting for? What is it that we're hoping to achieve? I would guarantee you at least half those people probably wouldn't be able to articulate what the cause is that they're actually there for and what they hope to achieve by protesting.
And I agree with you to that point, to what Rob was saying earlier about his kidneys and pre-existing. Like, you voting and you saying you're not voting and you don't want to vote, but you don't know what that candidate going to do for you, right?
Right.
You say Obama wasn't for a black person, but Obama gave y'all free health care, right? You that pre-existing under the Obamacare, right? That would have took care of your kidneys, right? So to Shanar's point, you got to know what you out here fighting for. You got to know what these people, what you want from these people.
Yeah, Janelle.
She did. Come on, baby.
Yeah, Janelle.
Is the mic on?
We can hear you. Your mic is not on, Janelle.
Yeah, turn the mic on.
We still can't hear you.
Microphone.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Until she gets on, man. My solution. I think I heard an OG say this about going to the poll. You know, both Democrat and Republican have been shitting on us, honestly. But what he said was, don't stop voting. Go and vote independent.
Right.
And hold your vote. He said, it's called a block vote. He said, hold your vote.
Right.
And then weigh out who fits your plan. Right. And that's who you choose to be in office or local office or whatever office you're looking to vote for. Right. Hold your vote. You have that right to hold your vote. You don't have to just go Democrat because your grandmother was a Democrat, which a lot of people are following behind because they're just like, my grandmother's Democrat, my grandmother ate pork, I'm just going to do what my grandmother did. They don't want to switch and change and find all the ways to do stuff. You can hold your vote. If 43 million people hold their vote and weigh it out, and if either one don't find it, be like, you know what, we're going for homie over there. He's about education and healthcare. Y'all this is about war and all this other shit.
Let me say this. Like, I'm an unaffiliated voter. You know, that means that I'm not registered as a Democrat and I'm not registered as a Republican either. And my wife and I we've made that choice to be unaffiliated. And the reason why we're unaffiliated is because, we vote our interests, right? And Chris Rock made a joke about it before, but it's very true. He was like, there's some things that I'm liberal about, and there are some things that I'm very conservative about. Right. So when the discussion around politics comes up in candidates, I'm thinking of it from multiple perspectives. I'm thinking about, how it impacts me as an individual and a person. I'm thinking about how it impacts me as a homeowner, how this person impacts me as a business owner. there are so many different intangibles that if you start actually sifting through and looking at the politicians closely, then you'll have an opportunity to vote your interest. But I think what happens is a lot of times people vote, like Rob was saying, blindly. They my mom was a Democrat, so I'm voting Democrat. Or my dad was a conservative, so I'm voting conservative. And people don't take the time to actually sit back and do research to actually vote their interest. My issue sometimes with people is that they'll say, I'm not voting for Trump, or no, I'm not voting for Biden. I'm like, all right, that's perfectly fine. I don't see an issue with you not voting for Biden. Well, who do you intend on voting for if you're not voting for Biden? Because
they don't have a clue.
Yeah, because people don't. They just take like those sound bites from what everybody is saying right now, and then those sound bites become, well, the crime bill or this, that, or whatever it is. And then I'm saying that you need to go out and cast your vote for Joe Biden. And I don't even see anything wrong with if Trump speaks to you, God bless you. You vote for Trump or whatever. But people have to be knowledgeable in terms of the candidate and who they're actually voting for.
Right. This is a shameless plug, man. Everyone should go watch The Social Dilemma on Netflix. It'll tell you how sound bites work and how people just pick up just certain things and they hear it and they just follow the trend.
But listen, that's a fundamentally thing that we are losing, especially for blacks. It's a monkey see, monkey do situation. You can't live like that. Like the era I came up in, I mean, y'all before me, I'm wishing on. We was
the OG to tell you, son. Right, it's all original.
Exactly. Right. Exactly. So the young ones, they don't really get it. And the problem with the young ones, even though they the masses, they haven't lived a full 16 years prior to understand what was going on for them to make decisions in the future.
Correct.
See what I'm saying? So it's big problems with the sound bites and the monkey see, monkey do's. 100%.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Zakaya, you wanna add anything, or Zane?
No, I agree with that. Most people don't know who they're voting for, why they're voting. They hear get Trump out, and then I see everybody posting, he's the lesser of the evil. Like that's the wordplay right now. And I'm just like, did y'all even understand like why he's the lesser of the evil? If that's what you feel, or you just saw it somewhere and then, well, we got to get Trump out and go with Biden because the lesser of the evil. I personally don't like either of them. To be honest, like I don't want Biden or Trump, right? But Biden can speak like, I'm sorry, I can't see it so small. To the guy next to you, Rob, he speaks to some of my values at this point, right? And he is a little bit more. He may be more persuaded to do things for the people who look like me at this time. See what I'm saying? So no, he's not the best candidate. Right, I don't like Kamala at all because of what she did in the past, and all of a sudden, she's changed. But that's cool. But for right now, yes, Trump is not speaking to me at all. You know what I mean? Like he's ridiculous. But some people can't even tell you that. They just the lesser of the evil, just the lesser of the evil. That's all I. I'm like, does anybody? And I get it. Some people are not into politics. So you have to teach people, and then some people are not able to be taught.
Right. Some people.
Here's the plot twist. I don't think Trump is talking to you or I.
He's not.
Oh yeah. Well, I can't speak for the whole platform, but I would say he's definitely not speaking for me. Anybody that incites racism, anybody that can sit on a platform and tweet some of the most degrading, disgusting things about women, people of color, Hispanic people, it's just beyond me. And then the people that rally behind him, I don't know if they're just deaf or dumb, or because he speaks to their racism, it's what they like. And I always say that
what it is.
Like everybody or what they say, but if they speak to something about you, you're gonna go with whatever they say. He's an idiot. I'm sorry. He's an idiot.
And the reason, and keeping it real, the reason why all this stuff is happening, people need to study Claude Anderson, man. We have no way of we don't have no group economics. Like how Shannon and I started this was just an idea. We had nothing to do during the quarantine. He was like, "Yo, Rob, let's start a podcast." And then Zane come on, and then We got his brother Kenyatta about to do another segment. We got to think in groups again. I mean, it took a village to raise all of us. But until we revisit those ideas, group economics, trusting one another, doing things together, even if it's small or big, whatever the case is, support one another, we're not going to have no economic base. So we don't have no economic base. Who can we put in office? We're always going to be rolling the dice. You know what I'm saying? Unless we have some sort of financial support.
But I think everybody pay taxes.
That's right.
You better.
So you better make yourself knowledgeable of what's going on.
That's right.
Because if it's not going to be the president, it's going to be your local official.
That's right.
No, so if you're not going to vote and you don't care about the high ups, you got to worry about down below because your baby's going to be around that. So it doesn't make sense. Like, you got to know. There's no excuse. There's no excuse. And if you don't vote, then you might as well just say, yo, you on the other side. Just go waste your vote if you're knowledgeable on the person that you know that's going to be better than the idiot this in office now. Right? Because you could look at New York City right now and it's horrible.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, come on, like you gotta just be knowledgeable of what's going on if you're paying taxes.
That's right. That's right.
When I look at social media, it's funny you say that because people are not knowledgeable. Like, we got half of my followers, or half of my followers are talking about Breonna Taylor, right? You have to be mindful of who you follow and what you're trying to get out of social media, right?
Right.
Then I have half the people I'm following, and they worried about Meg Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez. And I'm like, there's about to be a whole shift in the world right now. And she got shot, I'm sorry.
Right.
That's not important right now. You know, like,
shameless plug, man. Know your history, man.
That's not important right now. And I'm just like, these people are lost. Like, and I don't know if we have enough time to bring them together.
Right.
We got one couple of weeks.
Some people gonna fall short. They're gonna follow the lead of the blind leading the blind, man, and they're gonna fall short when other people are gonna rise and move forward. So what's up, Janelle? Welcome.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, we
got you.
Listen, my Mac didn't let me be great, so I had to get this Google thing.
That's right.
How are you guys? I've
Well,
been chiming in and out. I'm Janelle. I'm sorry, but
okay.
I'm just gonna start anywhere because I missed a lot of the conversation. But basically, I am feeling away.
That's right.
I'm a Black woman, a Black Hispanic woman, and every time I hear about her, I can't stay away from Freedom, the Tamika Mallory. And what I'm noticing is that we're not getting justice. I mean, he got arrested for missed bullets. I mean, indicted, I'm sorry, for missed bullets. We do know that because he didn't hit his target. So that is very stressful within itself. And for us to think about it as Black women, we're not even protected. It's sad that our Black men are not protected. But now you're saying a Black woman can't be protected. And then we're saying that her boyfriend with a registered gun shot before they said something. Come on. If I had a registered gun come in my house, I'm shooting you.
It's the same thing I said. I'm shooting. You ain't supposed to be in my house. You know what I mean? And you know, it's another thing too, man. Protection of our sisters. You know what I mean? We have to be more vigilant. I don't care if it's not your girl, if you see something going on and you see a woman being manhandled or treated unfairly, your brothers got to step in, man. Step right in and just silence it. But like, nah, sister, I got this. What's up, B? How you living, B? I don't care if I'm husband, all that. You got to step in, man. You got
look what OG Dad says. He said, I need politicians to represent me, not lead me. I'm already a grown man.
How about that?
Yeah, that's an interesting comment because another thing that I get flack for is that I always say that people have this high levels of expectation for these public figures, you know, like that's in the entertainment industry, to be almost like the representatives for them. You know, people will put more on the shoulders of LeBron James to address what's going on in terms of social injustice than they'll put on the shoulders of a scholarly person or one of our quote unquote Black leaders. just because he has a platform. And to me, you know what? I think as much as I feel like LeBron James has leadership qualities on the court, I don't necessarily know if it's his realm to have these discussions on an academic level off the court, right? But we have this expectation of him that because you're in this position, you have this stature, that you should be the one to articulate whatever the concerns are and what we want, how we're going to remedy whatever the situation is. And it's just, to me, it's almost like if we did role reversal and we put, you know, we put leaders or we put other people into LeBron James shoes and told them, like, all right, now do your thing, and expected or demanded success or demanded for them to have a full understanding of it. Like, that's not reasonable. Like, it's just, to me, it's like putting these figures, putting too much of an onus on the Beyonces, Jay-Z's, and LeBrons of the world.
Tory Lanez and Meg Thee Stallion bullshit, all that shit.
They will lead you off the ledge.
People will put more responsibility on LeBron than they will a father in a household.
They will lead you off the ledge. They will lead you off the ledge.
Right.
And I had this conversation with somebody about LeBron, and I was saying, look, until LeBron shouldn't even been playing basketball, he should have been protesting on the street. That's how you lead if you're gonna be a leader, and you got millions. You got to make the people feel equal to you. There's no way in the world you're gonna lead from that far, because the other side is only going to entertain you at that level.
Listen, man, LeBron didn't even want to play no more. They put the NBA put that pressure on him to finish the season. Matter of fact, he called Barack Obama. And he sat down and had a conversation with Barack. Because him and Chris Paul, they were out. They were out of there. They were like, yo, the season's over. But you know, everybody was looking at like LeBron. You know, what I heard was everybody was mad at LeBron because he was like, yo, I'm out. I don't even want to play no more.
But that's to Shanon's point, right? He didn't have the backbone to tell them no. And he's not, because his mind is not conditioned for that type of warfare. Right? You close to $1 billion. So you could have told them, no, we don't need you. I don't need to be playing. Take that sacrifice for the team. That goes to Shanon's point. He's not you don't look at those type of guys as your leader.
He has
Al Sharpton is the dude that took the knife for us.
So here's the thing to think about. Like, I knew LeBron was off when he said all lives matter. LeBron got a brand to protect, right? So in protecting his brand, like LeBron, I think is very deliberate about the conversations he has and the statements that he make. Like, he's allowed a certain level of outrage, but he still has to some degree make white people feel comfortable. That's not specific to LeBron though, because I just think in general, one of the issues we have when racism comes up is there's a lot in terms of black people figuring out how to talk about racism in a way to make white people comfortable. You know, we start pulling things where racism comes up, where we forget the difference between what racism and classism is. So we'll have a conversation about racism. We'll see a white person uncomfortable with it and then be like, well, you know, I have white poor friends. No, but it's a clear distinction that we need to make sure that we actually highlight in these conversations. And I think when you put a person like LeBron is an intelligent man, but it may be too much for his shoulders, and it's not necessarily his area of expertise. That's what I'm trying to convey.
Exactly.
We'll put that responsibility on LeBron before we put it on other people, though.
That's right. That's right. And that's always happened to sports athletes, man. That's always happened to them, man. So
like people were literally tweeting like, "Oh, I didn't see Jay-Z post about Breonna Taylor," like looking for everybody else, and I'm like, use your platform.
Exactly.
Use your platform. To your followers, whether you have 5, 100, 5,000, use your platform and put out information. They had fun. They had bail funds I was posting. They had rallies. I'm not in New York. Like you would thought I was like trying to get people to donate money. I'm donating money. Like you don't have to do that all day, every day, but you do have to do it because you're looking for other people to do it. Do it yourself first.
Yeah,
you know, people. People don't. There's no accountability. Like in that county in Kentucky, like yo, that they act as a commonwealth, right? It's a red state. They got a Democratic mayor. Their mayor is not set up like how New York City mayor is, where he appoints his DA. The DA is voted in. So when the community is to blame for that? debacle, right? So that's where you want to put your energy at and educating the community. Like you need to vote your DAs in.
Right.
Vote your DAs in, man.
I mean, when you got the Rand Pauls of the world, also
exactly. Shanar, and this is my thing. Like, if you're gonna protest, you protest in front of Rand Paul's house. The senator is the only one that can help that can overturn the DA at that point.
Yeah.
Right. Yo, Zane, what's up, Zane? You want to weigh in, Zane?
Zane frozen.
He froze.
Yeah. Yeah, but I just, again, like I think that we have you know, and I appreciate Zakai say, I think that we have a responsibility us as individuals to do a lot more than what some of us are willing to do. You know, we can't keep laying the foot. We can't keep laying it at the feet of the entertainers and have these expectations for the entertainers to do this stuff, you know, especially if they're not equipped to handle it. Go ahead, Janelle. You want to add anything?
I live in a predominantly white neighborhood, and I live upstate. And what my neighbors did was the best thing they could do. When it happened to George Floyd, when it happened to Breonna Taylor, they said, I don't know how you feel. If there's anything I could do, let me know. That's the best thing you can say, because I'm enraged. I'm outside. I sit on the front porch and stuff. And I'm like, I'm mad. And I told them, I'm angry. You guys have never, treated me no type of way, but those out there. Then I look at my 6'7" son, and he is taller than every police officer in Maybrook, New York. In my community, our police officers is about 5'4" max. 5'6", you make it 1. Okay. So when I had to snatch up my son and say, look, you got to stay close to mommy. He didn't understand it because he was raised up here. So he's like, I love this one. I love that one. I love everybody. Mommy, what's going on? You are a threat. I'm going to let you know now. They're scared of you. You're bigger than them. And if you are doing something wrong, they're going to shoot to kill you.
That's right. And
I said, when you see the police, you need to call your mother. I don't care if they're driving next to you. Call me. Then I found myself running in the neighborhood because now I'm afraid of what you're going to do to my 6'7" son, who's only 16 and still growing.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I'm gonna share the knowledge with you. You could have a rifle. Go get yourself a rifle.
I know.
Go get your rifle.
Sign up, sis. Sign up.
I'm gonna share that information with you because that's needed.
Yes, well, I sent them. I got so scared. I'm not gonna lie. With COVID and everything, I said, you know what? Your Honest retired. You going down south. So right now he's stuck in a big old house. He's living it up. But right now, until we figure out what's going on in these communities and how to protect our son, I have to put him in a bubble. And that's what I did.
The OG Dad says LeBron has used his discretionary income to send people to college, build a school. If he
that's
never
all he could do.
Else, it's okay with me. And you know what? Let me say this. I don't disagree with you, OG Dad. I never disagree with you. What I'm saying is that we shouldn't demand but so much of him. Like, you can't expect him to be something that he's not. He's not an activist.
Right.
Anything we get from him, to me, is something additional.
Although I don't like that shut up and dribble shit, but I get the point.
Yeah.
He's a funder, though. I agree. He should be funding. He should be funding the things, the necessary tools that the community needs. I agree. That's what you $250 million. You need to do that. Right, but you're not naturally that type of activist. Don't put yourself in that position. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, to contribute, you don't necessarily have to be up at the podium on the microphone. You don't have to have wonderful things that people could do behind the scenes that are just as valuable than being the face of something.
Right.
What's up, Tisha? I see you chimed in, son. T, you should come in, T. Speak to us, man. Come on in and talk to us, Tisha.
Yeah, baby, I'm here.
Yeah. Now, there's another. The Tisha came in. You remember Tisha from the block?
Yeah, where's she at?
She came in the comments. She's in there.
Yeah. So we've put this additional responsibility on people who may not necessarily be equipped to handle the responsibility. We probably have put more responsibility on the shoulders of LeBron than we have on Daniel Cameron. You know, the man who's masquerading as a black man.
How about
Yeah,
that?
that's what OG Dad was saying. We got to start putting that pressure on our congressman and Al Sharpton. That's what he's there for. Ben Crump, all them cats, man. They fighting the fight for us, so we got to put that pressure on them and let the sports guys, LeBron,
sports guys alone. Let them do sports.
They're gonna fund it. Yeah, if they can fund it, fund it. But let them sit back and you know, let the real dudes do what we do.
Yeah, you know, it's another thing that's come up that recently that I think is kind of it's disgusting too. There are people that, if you read enough on social media, there are people that believe that the $12 million civil settlement that the family received should right the wrongs of
you know, but that's an admit of guilt from the government.
That's right.
But that's how bad poverty killed us.
How about that? How about that? We'll take a buyout before we get justice, B.
And we have done many times. We have done so.
I'm telling you, man, these Caucasians have been living. They've been living in a utopia for over 400 years.
Right.
They don't have the worries we have. Right. You know, we have to realign our thinking and become more collective. You know what I'm saying? You know, because wealth for us, wealth for me, is black family. It's my family. It's y'all. This is wealth right here in this room. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all are valuable. Like I said, Big T, I grew up under Big T. And if I need to be straightened out, he'll pull my collar and be like, yo, Rob, what's up, B? You know what I mean?
Right.
And give me some wisdom and send me on my way. You know what I mean? That's how I do. You know what I'm saying? So family's important. And then, yo, black enterprise. All of us are gifted here, B. I don't care if you sew a patch on a shirt. That's a gift. Do something with it. Add on. Teach your kids. Show them how to cook. Show them how to save their money. On top of that, proper education too. We need to know who we are. Like I said, shameless plug. Get yourself a Black History calendar and know who you are. Know who inventors are. Know who people before you who've done major things, man, and find your liking to that and create stuff for yourself. And most importantly, I love my freedom, man. I live on a planet. And I want to be able to go anywhere when I want to go anywhere. Without being profiled, without being looked as if, because I got my hat on the side, niggas got to check me extra to see some shit in my bag. All of that, B.
Tisha Murray said, but I just have one thing to say about Breonna case. You can't expect your oppressors to give us justice.
That's right. She's 100% right.
He's correct.
When did they give us justice? That's my point. We still talk about Mega Evans. Mega Evans got shot in 63. Malcolm got shot in 68. Malcolm in 65.
And it ain't no sacrificial bodies for the fight. They all that's crazy.
No one wants to step out and go head to head with the oppressor.
That's right.
That's the issue.
Well,
so true.
Well, you know what the closest thing I think we have to a sports figure that I think really stepped up, and as a result of it, now they've been ostracized. Cap, like Cap is when history is told, Cap is going to be our modern day
Muhammad Ali.
Yes, sir.
Because he mortgaged his career. He mortgaged his career on behalf of the movement, and now everything that he's saying, people are looking around like, yo, Cap was right the whole time. Yeah. And try to shift the narrative from what he was saying. His protest was all about police violence against people of color, but people made him or painted a picture as him being somebody who was anti-American.
But now everybody's kneeling. Everyone wants to fucking kneel now.
But this is how crazy. But this is how crazy. Like the people in his circle, like the athletes, are so out of this world because you are in the same generation, and you have the cheat code right there. Only I think Kyrie was the only one to say, "Yo, I'm not playing at all."
Yeah,
right.
But they know what it is. They also seen it probably a fact that he couldn't get signed, and people aren't ready to mortgage their careers.
But they settled. He took a nice check, but he was right. He was right. He was 100% right of what he did, and his movement was a little more impactful,
right?
Than just wearing a t-shirt.
Yeah. Oh, this is my daughter. She said one of the true steps towards moving forward as a community is definitely to educate the youth of the true Black history inside and outside of the school.
That's a fact.
Shout out to you, Bree. Shout out to you, Bree. You right on it, baby girl. Knowledge itself. And we always talk about this on this show, Shy, about knowledge. Knowledge is the most important thing. Let me tell you something about knowledge, man. Knowledge is the legacy of the prophets, while wealth is the legacy of pharaohs. People are only worried about gold, oil, and diamonds. And if you know that acronym is acronym for God, because that's all they worry about is materialism. You know what I'm saying?
The greatest sin.
It's the greatest sin, B. Knowledge is the most important thing in your life. You can't do nothing unless you know something, B.
Brad says, but when we get these Uncle Toms like Charles Barkley stepping out there like they know what's up, cats like that have no idea how real life is for Black people. He don't speak for me. It's interesting you say that, Brad, because this morning I was listening to Chris Rock on the radio, and Chris Rock, one of the things he said, I was like, damn, finally, I actually heard somebody say it. He was like, as a Black man, yes, he's Black, but he said that he's looking from a higher perspective, or he said he's ill, where the impact of racism for the average Black person doesn't necessarily, reach him the way it would reach a regular Black person. And he was saying because of his finances, he said, I live in a compound, so I'm not necessarily worried about them knocking down my door.
He's a Republican.
And there's a disconnect there when you start thinking about like a dude like Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley, he's a Black man, but Charles Barkley's Black
Alabama
is a different level of Blackness.
Alabama, that's right.
But
than the average Black man.
He's not an Uncle Tom. That's giving him too much credit. He's a Sambo. Uncle Tom was helping people out. We got to change that narrative right there, man. Uncle Tom's is a good person. He's a Sambo.
Yo. Yeah, man.
He's a Sambo, but he's a Bubba from Alabama. He grew up around rednecks. Like he's a Republican. That's why you don't follow celebrities and they the worst role models, because you don't know where they stand. They rich. They only worry about their tax brackets.
Yeah.
Hey, gold, oil, and diamonds. That's it.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
Breonna says, especially in these times when Black history is being watered down with lies in public schools to fit into the European
curriculum.
You're so right.
Europeans have been living in a utopia. Things go their way, regardless of what. And here we are looking in the window, wanting to be that. And most of us have turned European over the years.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? From the clothing we wear to how we act, how we consume information. We take everything on the surface. We don't dig in deep. We don't find the root situation of anything. And that's how we live, man. You know what I'm saying? We live in an individual society. That's why I shamelessly plug that
calendar.
The calendar, and also the social dilemma. Because these fucking devices here
killing us,
brainwashing people, and they call them smartphones, and they're making people dumb.
If you haven't had an opportunity, if you guys haven't read it, I would say that the miseducation of the Negro talks a lot about how education, how even educated Negroes have been impacted by a white agenda. So, and then think about it, if as an educated Negro, you're perpetuating a white agenda and then you're passing that messaging on to children in schools, that just further perpetuates what's going on in terms of racism.
That's right.
Yep.
100%. Shout out to Miss Harris, baby girl showing up on the check-in.
Yeah, no,
right.
So at the beginning,
we didn't have Black history, we didn't even have Black history in our curriculum. When I was growing up, I went to St. Philip and James, and now it took all them years for them to get Black history in these schools.
Father Rossi was telling you how to pray, and that was it.
Yeah, talk about Christopher Columbus discovering
Columbus. And we know that's a bold-faced lie.
But man, what was crazy about that is, like, in that generation, for you to get the Black knowledge, you had old people around you. When you leave school, right? You had your grandmothers, you had old people in the stores, still own the Black people that still own stores that was kicking the history to you.
That's right.
That's right.
Right.
My grandmother lived till 104.
Wow.
My
Yeah,
mother was 99.
she hitting you
getting
with all
ready to
types
turn
of history.
100. So she taught me. My grandmother taught me more than any history book could ever taught me.
Yeah, that's how I feel about my
Right.
right.
Word up, kid.
So that's what I mean about family. You know,
Yep.
and now we're well, most of us are considered almost the elders now because we're moving up in age. We got to start sharing with our babies what they don't know. Tell them to put that fucking phone down and let me talk to you. Let me just get your ear for a minute before you run off onto your phone and tell you who you are. You're great. You know what I mean? There's so many great things you got going on for you, but you need to know it. You need to know it from me. You know what I'm saying? Because I love you. And I want you to know that. Walk with that. You know what I'm saying? Wear that like a badge of honor on your chest. You're great, man. And we got to do that. We got to educate our babies, man.
Tisha Murray said, I heard something about voting for the lesser of two evils. Here's my question. Does our vote really count? Are we really going to be heard? Do we really have control of our votes?
Well, T, lesser of two evils, evil is evil, baby girl. So I don't care if it's high evil, low evil, side evil. Both of them niggas is evil.
And yes, your vote count, man. Your vote, vote.
What's your interest? You vote with your interests is. Corey, you want to speak more?
Your vote count. Vote.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And what we want to say is vote.
If you don't vote, I mean,
that method that Claude Anderson said. Yo, vote, but vote. Hold your vote in that block until you find out who's worth giving it to. If neither one of them is worth giving it to, you'll give it to someone who's coming up in the race. Like, look, you look like you want to do something with us. Let's do something together, man.
Yeah, Janelle, you want to say something?
I just want to say vote because if you don't vote, whoever it is you're going to vote for is going to win, right? We got to go out there and vote. We got to take our chances. We know this idiot box, and if I'm offending anybody, I apologize. But this idiot box that we got in office, we don't need another 4 years. But I don't want to offend anybody.
No, you ain't offending nobody. You on our show. You're right.
Vote for who you gonna vote. We need change. Biden may change. He may be the worst thing ever, but look what we got. That's how you got to look at things. Look at what you got. We got a racist. We got a bigot. We got a sexist. We got a rapist. This man that raped women got away with it. So I don't like rapists. So I'm not going to vote for him.
But this is how naive America is in a whole. Like the whole Midwest, they have no idea about Trump, and he swindled them for their vote.
That's right.
That's a clear example, right? You don't, because they didn't know. Now they got jerked. Now if you don't go do your homework about politicians,
that's right.
That could benefit you. You may get jerked.
You will get jerked
again. Checks.
It will happen again.
So what everybody got to know really quick is what we're requesting from a president. What is it? 7 billion people are requesting different things. Right. They cannot come up with all of our requests. We may get a little something, like we got a little something from Obama, but we got Michelle, who is the bomb, right?
Right. That's right. Absolutely.
That's right. You're going to get something. You're not going to get the whole package that you want because he is not your personal president. He's the world.
And I'm glad you said that, Janelle. And I'll take that with saying there has to be some personal responsibility for yourself to educate yourself because politicians are not going to do everything.
Right.
They're not going to put the entire bill, man. So I think have to get yourself involved in something.
I think what Tisha is saying, I get why Tisha would say what she would say because as Black people, we've been deceived for so many years. So it's hard for us to believe and actually trust in a process that we've seen over and over again, not be beneficial to us. That's similar to how we feel about the justice system, right? We keep talking about we need justice reform. There's not a Black person walking around that's like, you know what, I think that the justice system is fair, is equal, and it's great. And I think that that's why some people are actually hesitant also when it comes to voting. They feel like, you know what, it doesn't matter. The election is rigged anyway. So I think
that's still using the same laws from 1700.
Absolutely. I'm playing devil's advocate with you. we get the opportunity to vote our judges in, right?
Yes,
We get
yes.
those opportunities because that's all you see up and down these streets. Vote for this person. We don't go out those little votes.
Right.
You should be out there every time there is some sort of election. We should be out there voting. We can't complain about the justice system and the judges when we didn't go out and vote.
You know what's crazy to that? Shannon, I don't know if you remember, like when we was younger, right? In our community, it wasn't the suburbs, right? But we seen the local government official drive around with the big speaker. It's vote, right? Now for those that grew up in the suburbs, right? You grow up understanding that you got a judge, you got a county representative or whatever, right?
Local officials, all that.
So when the city people move up to the county, we kind of a little bit understand that. But the younger ones that move out of urban community and never voted for their mayor in the urban community, they get to the counties, they don't even care about none of that. They be like, "What?
I'm just out the hood. That's all."
We already, right? We just missed the last gunfight. We out of here. You know what I'm saying? So
that's the truth.
It's like, though, when you gonna catch the knowledge?
Right. I don't know if you guys are from the Bronx, but it was Gloria Davis. Wasn't her the one with the
right?
Right. All right. So it was Gloria Davis out there, and we was all like, let's get her in. She's the assembly woman, and then she was the most corrupt.
Wow. Yeah. So here's something to think about. Like for me, the way even thinking about how the political system works, I say to myself, I know our forefathers fought tooth and nail for us to have the ability to vote. And I'd be doing them a disservice after I seen them get the dogs turned on them, the hoes turned on them, and get beat from pillar to post for this right to vote. And then for me to say, well, this vote don't mean nothing and throw it out the window. So that's how I rationalize, whether I believe that the system is rigged or not. I vote for that reason. And I vote also because I do feel that if I don't vote, I definitely don't have any voice. I can't complain about whatever the issue is.
You stuck.
Yeah. You got to just take it. Because if I didn't vote, like Jamal just said, if the person I don't vote for, if I say I'm not going to vote, the person I don't want in office, that's a vote for them.
Yeah.
Simple math. Very simple math.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, kid.
We need a list of 5 specific things, and it needs to be around more policy change than money. That'll be interesting to see if this country could actually do something with that.
Look, man, there's countries where police officers don't have guns. Why?
We haven't mastered the art of policing yet. Like for us, policing, there's a point in time when policing was about de-escalating situations. Now policing is not about de-escalating.
It's not about de-escalating shit. It's about hanging niggas. But that's where policing came from. You remember this whole black cop, right, son? You know what I mean? That whole police system is driven from old slave riders looking for slaves that were running away from slave plantations and bringing them back. And then they turned it into some other shit, which we got now. And they're still run by them same laws. It's them same old Constitution laws. Even as a prisoner, if you get locked up, you're a fucking slave. Period. 13th Amendment says that you're a slave. So be prepared for
slavery.
People are
these things were written in 1767 or sometime back.
Well, Rob, hold on, Shannon. But we know, the educated ones know, we ain't out here causing mischief to put ourselves in situations. Absolutely. I mean, it could happen to any one of us. I'm not saying that it can't, but the point is, when you look at certain situations, like what was you doing? Like for instance, George Floyd had a counterfeit $20 bill, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that caused the bodega dude to call the cops.
Police, right?
Now that's not justifying it. I'm just saying the instances, like we know these laws is not for us, B. We gonna work. We need to. That's something that you got to look at and be like, nah, I'm gonna go take care of this over here, and I'm gonna mind my business and build over here and avoid that.
Right.
Until we find somebody that can change that.
Right.
But you got these youngins out here that just don't want to listen. Right, you 100 group economics. You're right,
Mm-hmm.
but everybody want to live a wild life.
Yeah, and that's actually that's a European construct to be an individual.
Right.
Yeah.
Individual. None of us here were raised in an individual setting. We were raised in a village setting.
Right.
I remember my grandparents and my great grandparents, all the way down to my aunts, my uncles. We were all in the same setting. We all ate at the same table. You know what I'm saying? We all went to church together.
Sunday dinners.
Sunday breakfast. Fuck that. Breakfast, lunch, and at the same table. And because we've got a little bit of wealth, and we started to kind of see the ideas in our mind just like a European.
We ain't get no wealth. We got some money, but we didn't get wealth.
We ain't getting no wealth.
We got clothes.
We got a little bit of money, but we ain't getting no wealth. Yeah. We started following the idea of our predecessors and thinking like, I need to live like that. I need to wear the Gucci. I need to wear these. When we've created all this stuff to begin with, we was creating clothes for the longest. It's one of the reasons why they criminalized marijuana, because in the early days when we was using hemp, nigga, we was making jeans, we was making hats, we was making cloth, we was making comforters out of hemp. Come on, man. That's crazy. Dude. That's crazy.
Yeah. Zakai, you want to weigh in? I think
just listening.
Oh.
Okay. OG Dad says people are taught not to vote. Why don't you get a voting ID card when you become 18, but have to register for the military so they can find you if needed? Go ahead, Zakai.
So what I wanted to say is that group economics is very important. So when you're in the community and you see the people that own the grocery stores, the laundromats, and the restaurants, they are not always people that look like us. Most of the time they're not, right? So with group economics, if we are building together, we don't have to go to those stores. We are now getting the merchandise ourselves and reselling it to the people that look like us, and we're getting it for the same price as the other people are getting it for at a cheaper value. So we are so, I say we, but we are so into self. Well, I gotta get it first. I gotta be the first to do it, instead of saying, hey, let me bring along so and so who can add value and we can get there faster. During this quarantine should have either made you a entrepreneur if you wasn't one already, but it didn't. It should have definitely incited some thoughts in your head, right? You need to be able to make a product, right? Make a product so that you can sell a product, right? I'm in a group called the Black Billionaires Club. We are able to put our money together. We bought masks. They buy those things that fly around. They buy smart watches. I don't always invest in everything that they buy, but when I'm able to or when I want to, we put our money together. But there's always a cycle, and we're getting things for dirt cheap together, Black people. You know what I mean? So when we sit back and we're able to,
what's the name of the group you with? You said
it's called the Black Billionaires Club. Okay, they're on Facebook. Yeah, really good group, really good people, and it's not even about the people. It's just the fact that you're in a situation where people look like you. We have to go to the banks and people that don't look like us and ask for these loans. We have banks, but we should have more banks. We shouldn't have to go to white people for anything. But then they are able to come into our community and disrespect us. And I'll see people say, "Oh, I'm not going to the nail salon because they disrespected me," and be right back on the line trying to get in with a mask during COVID. And I'm bugging like, they just cursed you out. You just saw in the video. Like I don't get it. I don't get it. So group economics is very important. Having a product or products to sell is very important. Teaching your children to be entrepreneurs from now is important because you don't want to raise your children to work for somebody.
Yo, I did a little test a couple years ago. It might have been about a decade ago, but I was dating a young lady who had 2 little daughters, and she was kind of tight with school supplies. I said, you know what? Let's create a lemonade stand. Yo, we made a lemonade. I got 30 lemons, a 5-pound bag of sugar, and we made like $600-700 that day, son.
Look at
just that. Lemonade, B. And they were cute little girls. They had little pigtails that made them wear yellow shirts. Just went outside, selling. And the crazy thing was, most people that was buying lemonade was just giving money.
Mm-hmm.
It's the ethic. It's the work ethic.
You know what I'm saying? Just out there doing it. It can be done. You just got to take the initiative and like Corey said, stop talking and put some action to that ass.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Make it work. It can work. I'm a living example, son. I'm a living example, man.
Tisha Murray says, I agree. Economic wealth is very important to teach ourselves and our youth. Stop buying the new and making Gucci and all the other brands rich and recreate yourself with your talents.
Thank you, T. That was dope. That was
great.
That was dope right there. Yeah, man. They gotta help. We can do it. We gotta just change our paradigm and our thinking. And like Zakaya said, during this pandemic, if you haven't that's telling you need to do something different because the old way of doing it ain't working. Listen, you're gonna be that hamster on the wheels. Same behavior, yo.
Mm-hmm.
And it ain't gonna get you nowhere. You can be complaining still.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, Big T.
And what I noticed,
I'm about to get out of here.
There's a lot of people.
You Big T, you good? You about to roll out?
But yo, when are you coming back on again? This is a weekly thing, or?
Yeah, we try to do it on every Friday. Some Fridays we might, but we'll put our shows on Mondays and Wednesdays as well. But Fridays is usually our live days, though. So check on Fridays.
Count me in, baby. Count me in.
Yo, Big T, shout out somebody if you want to shout them out, Big T.
Shout out who?
Anybody.
Oh man, I gotta give a shout out to some of my fellas, my man that are going, man. Shout out to Dr. Rock.
Dr.
Shout
Rock.
out to Jip.
Big Jip. Jip Jetta.
My man Jerry Lester.
Big Les, no doubt.
Yeah. Give a shout out to Troy Sweeney and the whole crew.
Nice.
And Pretty Boy Floyd.
Oh wow, that's a classic. He shouting out OG, good old men, man.
Yeah.
These guys raised me, B. These guys raised me, man.
Yes,
subscribe.
Sir.
Make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube, Big T.
Got you. I'm in.
I appreciate your time, Big T, man. Yo, say peace to the missus, yo.
Yeah, you got it.
You were saying something?
Yeah. Peace.
Right,
Oh, what I was saying was what I find is that when talking to certain people my age or younger, they don't know where to find information. So most people want to be business owners, right? Most people want to work for themselves, but they don't have the tools or they don't take the time to read. And I noticed that a lot during this pandemic too. Nobody reads. Like, it can literally be in the comment, hey, I got a blue shirt, I got it from so-and-so store. And people will be in the comments like, where'd you get it from? And I'm like, yo, it's in the post. But what I do say is that when people ask me that, and I think these forums are very important because it may give people an opportunity. So you don't want to just talk about the problem all the time. You want to have segments where you can help people say, hey, do you know how to get an LLC? Hey, do you know how to get your business registered with SAM.gov so you can get those federal contracts? Because that's where the money is. Like, you can have a business, but if you are able to offer the government a product, talking about products, you are able to compete with big corporations for $1 million contracts because you're Black owned, minority owned, small business owned, woman owned, all those things, but people don't know how to get to information. Some of it is laziness, some of it is just lack of being pushed in the right direction. So I'm the kind of person that I'm willing to help you get to that direction. I won't do the work for you, but I will help you to get there because sometimes you don't have that motivation in your community, in your circle, and some of that is what people need truly. You know what I mean? Like, we say it for hours and talk about the things that are going on in the community that are negative, but then if you offer that piece of positive to get you in a different piece, you can get in a different space in your life where you can provide for your family without the government, then maybe you'll be more apt to voting and learning about different things. But if they're stuck, their brain won't go past within the community.
That's right.
Speaking of that, Corey. Corey, real quick, because Corey is actually an entrepreneur. Corey, you want to talk a little bit about your business?
Yeah, so what I do, I'm a consultant. I'm a project manager consultant. And I'm on a. Y'all can hear me? I feel like there's a little delay.
I hear you, brother.
Yeah, so what I do is I have a real estate background. I'm licensed in multiple states. And what I did was convert over the financial crisis. I just went back to school and added the construction management segment to what I already do, and flipped that and turned that into
you building shit, brother.
Yeah, pretty much. I can. So if you're an investor and you don't want to deal with the construction part, I'll come in and take that over for you.
Okay.
And charge your percentage that you got to add on top of your construction costs.
Yeah.
Right. And then I could advise on the real estate side. If you do all the other properties that you want to buy, I could help you finagle, a better deal for you so you don't get jerked. Because most people don't understand the repair value in properties. So they'll overspend.
Nice.
And now I'm trying to dibble and dabble in the chicken business. Like I'm trying to raise some chickens.
Multiple streams of income, baby.
Yeah.
Come find many ways.
And then I got some other stuff brewing as well that I'm trying to put together. So, it's about initiative, man. It's about, when you're working for something, because when you're young, that's where you get it from. You work, and then you realize, like, nah, this ain't it.
That's rich.
See, yo, Zay, and this might segue to that entrepreneur show we was talking about too. We may need to get some people on here and talk about what they do, man. So what's up, Big T? What's up, T?
But let me say one thing though. I'm gonna be honest, and it goes to what Zakir was saying. Like the problem with our own people, right? Is some of us they want things to be given to them. It's entitlement, right?
Yes, sir.
Right. So sometimes you gotta just stay away from that. Because they don't have that ethic in them already. They just want they feel like you owe them that. And that's not the case. And again, it goes back to your household. Like my pops and my moms gave me chores. That was a work ethic. Like you gotta have that, man. You gotta have it.
You know, in the backyard cleaning up, Corey.
Facts, man. Facts.
And you know what? Too, starting to think outside the box. People are just afraid.
100%.
People
or they just don't. Yeah. Or they don't know.
Yeah, that's part of being fair, not knowing.
Yeah.
All of us can't be chiefs, though.
How you doing, baby?
I'm all right. Hi, everyone.
I know you want to weigh in. I want to hear what you got to say, baby. Let's go.
I mean, I'm just listening, and every now and again, if it's something that hit me, I'll chime in. Congrats to the young brother in the corner. I can't see your name with the hat.
Corey.
Congrats to you, Corey. It's nice to know we got, us out here doing it and trying. And I hope that one day you can mentor a younger person to do what you're doing and maybe give them that initiative to want to thrive for something that they're looking forward to doing in life. Because not all of us come from a two-parent household. And not all of us, not everybody's village was thriving. Some of our villages were burning down. And everybody's looking and running for shelter. And I'm talking during the crack era when families were broken apart and things were just burning in our village. Okay? So a lot of times within that time, we come from Generation X. So we know parents, people in our age group that are grandparents.
That's right.
And not to one or two grandchildren, more than that. I know girls that are women today that their kids are married and she's 44, she's 45, because we were born in that era. So if you can give back to someone younger than you and mentor young guys out there who are lost, who are out here in the South Bronx, picking up guns, aimlessly shooting, killing babies, mommies through the windows. They need people like you, Corey, Rob, and the man in the corner. I can't see your name.
Shannon.
We used to have Black mentorships when I was growing up. It was true. You sign up your kid, there was no father, and you had Black men in power that were helping our youth. We don't have that anymore. So it would be nice to bring forth something like that. And you can start out small.
Right. Yeah. One kid.
One kid. Teach one, reach one. Because that kid got a friend. And that friend has a parent. And word of mouth will travel. And then the next thing you know, you guys have created something great right here within your community. You know, we have to start with the youth because they are tomorrow.
That's
They're the ones that's going to determine how we're going to wipe our asses at 70 years old. You understand what I'm saying? I am a guidance counselor. I've worked with youth for over 22 years. It is not a game. These kids, sometimes they come in and they don't know how to turn off from being a mommy, a daddy, and being a child. And that is what is lost within the community. Because when you come into school or you come into my office, I'm going to treat you as such, which is a child, a youth. So I'm going to have to check you out the door. But you also need someone to step in and to be a mentor. Because I'm not here to tell you, yeah. That's not my job. I need you to be a soldier. You know what I mean? I need you to get out there and be strong. And with men like you on here doing what you're doing for yourselves, lets me know that you have that strength within yourself to help yourself to push through all these struggles that we're going through in this world. You're doing it. So if you can pass that knowledge and that energy to someone that is worthy of it, because everybody's not worthy. So you got to be careful where you pour your energy to.
How they say it back in the days, you shouldn't cast pearl before swine.
That's right.
Cause swine eat it.
Yeah, it will eat it. You know what I mean? The best way to kill a body and to get rid of it is to chop it up and give it to a pig.
That's right.
So if you can just do that, that will be your give back, and you will be surprised how things can grow from there. It's like a seed being planted. And it's going to take steps, just the way it took 400 years to oppress us and separate us and keep us down and keep us at each other's throat. It's going to take about that long for us to get the unity. Because what he said at Malcolm X, the nigga got to die first.
Yeah.
You understand? The nigga got to die first.
Yes, sir.
You understand what I'm saying? And with you guys coming in, y'all going to kill a nigga. And I'm going to show you how to be a man.
That's right. Hold on. Go ahead, Ms. Janelle. Go ahead, Ms. Janelle.
Talk a little bit about what you're doing, Janelle, because what you're doing is important too.
I'm a self-care I'm a social worker still by day. I've been in the field for 17 years. I actually started in New York City, which is great. So I got all like good old knowledge from the NYC. I'm now upstate. But I opened up a self-care business, and I've been in business almost 2 years.
Nice.
And what that is I'm that life coach that you could call 3 o'clock in the morning. We don't go through shit, excuse my language, but we don't go through shit from 9 to 5, okay? Because we're hustling and bustling. If you from NYC, and I'm from the South Bronx, so that tells you a lot. We only know what the hustle and bustle is. It's not until 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock when we revisit those traumas. So what I did was I opened up my life coaching business 24 hours. How I get my sleep, the heavens above, because sometimes I get those calls 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. I don't turn off my phone. I help you process it. But like I said, I am a coach. I'm not going to do the work for you. You're going to do the work, and I'm going to coach you through the work.
Make them accountable. That's right.
So that's what I've been doing. I am blessed in the business since COVID happened. I'm able to coach a lot of people all over the world. I got clients in Florida, Missouri, everywhere on Zoom. And right now, I just did an event on March 1st at the Harlem School of Arts, which was amazing. And it allowed me to reintroduce myself event. And that's where you walk up to a mirror and actually introduce yourself. So if COVID didn't have all of it, but COVID happened. So right now I'm virtual, and I started a podcast a couple of months ago in March. So I also have a self-care podcast. I'm talking about racial trauma. That's something that is not spoken about. It's not in our DSM-5, so you cannot get diagnosed with it. But I can say everybody on this platform and on many other platforms have experienced racial trauma, and it should be just as much as anxiety. You know what I'm saying? It should be as much as ADHD.
Yeah, PTSD.
Yes.
Post-traumatic slave disorder. That's
Thank you. I like that. So that is what I do. And if all of us could connect, it would be great, because I have on my podcast, it's called Journey to Self-Care. And I would love for you guys to one day be a guest.
Okay.
Sure.
Well, come on.
Sure.
What's
So
up,
we
Black?
just
I
did
see my black out there.
Yeah, we just did polyamory, where I got a black couple who has a guy who has 2 wives, and it was awesome.
Wow. How about that?
Yes. So if you guys, we can connect, that would be great. Thanks for inviting me, Shannon.
Yeah.
Nah, son. You're more than welcome, man. Anytime you want to talk and chop it up, we here, man. This is what our platform is for: helping one another excel, learn from one another, share knowledge. That's the reason why we started it, man. Having a conversation.
Yeah.
Janelle.
Yes.
I just want to say one thing to you.
Yes.
Because I'm also very spiritual. And I just want to tell you, when you can, get your sleep, honey. Get your rest.
I do. Believe you me, I get naps in. I'm working from home a lot.
Okay, you need it, all right? Because your energy is drained a lot because you're on call 24/7. So you need your energy to recharge like a battery. Okay? So I just want to make sure you get your rest and drink your water.
Yeah. I do. I'm always have water because I'm an energy magnet. When you're social and you're helping people, you're considered an energy magnet.
And they draw your energy. Right.
Yeah.
They drain you. By the end of the day, you are exhausted.
Yes.
So I need you to get your rest. Okay? Your proper rest. If you have to, I know you may not want to, but if you have to, put your phone down and away from
of course.
For 2-3 hours, please do it.
I do. I block my calendar off. You look on my website, sometimes my calendar is off and I'll just go out for the day, but I'm still available. If you send a text, I'm not going to ignore it because I'm in a self-care moment, because a self-care moment could
self-care is very, very, very important and very needed.
That's the name of the business.
That's right. Very important, especially when you do the type of work that you do.
Yes.
Very, very important.
You know what? And that's dope that you have a platform for self-care, because that needs, like I always say, knowledge itself. You got to know who you are. You got to know what you're feeling. You got to know why these things are happening. You know what I'm saying? In your life, man. And you got to hold yourself accountable. Change your thoughts. Change your thinking pattern. You know what I mean? Learn something about yourself. We're great people.
Yes.
There's so much stuff buried in us that we have not even touched.
Thank you.
Yeah. Where we have the potential to do all things. You know, in our show, usually when we have guests, I usually ask them, how important is your imagination? Do you use your imagination?
Yes.
You know what I mean? Imaginations aren't just for kids.
No.
You know what I mean? And look how a kid acts when he's in his imagination, or she's in her imagination. They had the best time of their life. So can you. You know what I mean? You have to use it constructively, figure out what it is that you want to do in life, see the vision,
and go for it.
There you go.
I just want to say one thing. I just want everybody, my biggest thing that I'm teaching is getting your hair and nails done. Nails done is not self-care. It is self-maintenance. We are so conditioned into sitting and getting a massage and saying self-care. A massage is self-soothing. When we start using the words correctly, we start to learn what self-care is. And self-care is learning something new every day, eating vegetables and fruits. I'm not saying go on this hiatus diet, just adding some vegetables and fruits, and don't do nothing that don't sit right with your soul. That's self-care, and it's all for free.
And let me just add to that, because I just had a interview about my kidney yesterday, and I was explaining the importance of eating fruits and vegetables. When you eat green fruit, or when you eat green anything, whether it's lettuce, kale, spinach, cucumbers, what that does to the body, it cleans the cell, because we're all cellular people. So you're eating green vegetables, that's just cleaning and restructuring your cell so your cells can do the work that it always does. And once you eat fruit, the nectar of the fruit is the glucose, it's the sugar, it's the energy to keep the cell going. So fruit and vegetables go hand in hand. That's why you always hear people say, do you eat fruits and vegetables? Because you're supposed to have that. You're not supposed to have anything dead in your body because it's dead. Dead is gonna be just dead. You're just gonna be shitting out shit that stinks. But if you do invite more fruit, and more vegetables, you'll find out your life and things. You start to feel a lot better about yourself, man. Yo, Mike Taylor, look for the link at the top, brother. He wants to chime in, my man. Mike
Taylor. We gotta wrap up. We had an hour and a half. We gotta wrap up. But I want
much fun, yo.
Yeah, but I want to thank everybody for joining us today. I know we started out with the Breonna Taylor conversation, but the conversation expanded, and I think it expanded because we all know that Breonna Taylor was going on. What happened to Breonna Taylor is relevant to what we see in our community on a regular basis. So, the discussion expanded to the community, and I appreciate it. Look, everybody, 7 o'clock every Friday, we're here. Like, comment, subscribe. As Rob was saying, from time to time, we have guests on, but we pride ourselves in being a podcast where we're not just about the gossip, what's going on with celebrities and things like that. Right. We actually want to bring something to the table. We want to educate people, whether it be about health, finance, Corey with real estate, joining us. That's why I asked Corey, Janelle to come on and talk about self-care. Now we got T talking to us about her perspective as a guidance counselor, as Zakiah tuning in, telling us about the group, that she's a part of. So, again, like, comment, subscribe, make sure you tune in to the podcast. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in.
I love y'all. Big T, I love you. This is dope. Shout out, Joe.
Love you, Rob.